Good afternoon and welcome to SAIT Newsfile. I'm Philip Miani. Jace Chewell will have a look at all the highlights later in the show. What can we expect, Jace?
Well, Phil, we got a lot of NHL games going on tonight. We got some Raptors highlights and, of course, some soccer.
I love it. Easton Ham is outside in the sun. What's it like out there, Easton?
Well, Phil, we received some snow last night, but with today's high of 7 degrees, it's now all gone. The temperature is nothing special, though, as historically today's average is 7 degrees. The record high in 1966 was 22 degrees, and the record low was in 1890 at minus 22. I'll have all the details later on SAIT Newsfile.
Thanks, Easton. Now here's a look at today's top stories. A man was found in life-threatening condition near a hotel parking lot Tuesday morning. A man in his 40s was rushed to the Foothills Hospital after he was found in a parking lot of the 2700th block of Sunridge Boulevard Northeast. EMS first responded to a call of a potential overdose before dispatchers determined that police were needed. CPS says it currently does not have any suspects or witnesses in the case, and investigators have not confirmed whether or not a weapon was used. Calgary police continue to investigate a random attack on a woman in Prince's Island Park early Sunday morning. CPS says the incident occurred around 3:30 in the morning of March 27th. A woman was walking along the path when she was grabbed from behind, and the suspect allegedly pulled out a knife and tried to pull the woman towards the river. The woman managed to fight back and escape before finding a security guard who called 911. This event happened 9 days after a woman was attacked and killed in the Beltline in a separate attack. After that young woman's death, Calgarians have started to become more aware of the risk young women have in their day-to-day lives. Vanessa Ladouceur had been stabbed in a random attack on her way to work. For what seemed to be a normal day, completely took a turn for the worst. SAIT provides a program called Safe Walk to keep students safe if they ever have to walk alone on campus. But due to the pandemic, that program was suspended and students are concerned.
For something that happened, and it was a great thing to have. You know, if it wasn't there, I don't know what I would have done.
Tune in on Thursday for an interview with a woman who lived in the same building as the victim and questions her own safety. As restrictions have eased, Calgary's young population is out and ready to party. Clubs and bars have been thriving, but with that comes dangers. As Tia Leonard reports, impaired driving is more concerning now than ever before.
For the past 2 years, the pandemic has kept most Calgarians pretty close to home. But now, as things return to normal, there is also the return of some bad habits. Impaired driving is more common than some may think. Gloria Saunders' life was forever changed when she was just a young mother. Her husband was killed, and she and her daughter were injured by a drunk driver.
When you're 33, it's all like looking forward to stuff and enjoying life and enjoying your daughter and all that, you know, and all the things that dreams you have, you know, you're going growing and getting what you want and all that kind of thing. But not lots of dreams. And
Saunders' story reflects just how fast a life can change. Statistics Canada reports in 2018 about 1 in 20 drivers say they had driven while impaired, and that trend is on an upswing.
The trends we are seeing, though, is our drug-impaired driving numbers are going up, and that's just a symptom of more enforcement, more educated officers, and we're dealing with the opioid epidemic, so we are seeing more impaired driving files related to those types of substances.
Kurz says the pandemic caused a delay in training officers to detect impaired drivers. But now the traffic unit is back to normal and running at full strength, something Saunders is thankful for.
it was pretty tough, you know, getting hurt and not being able to be a part and like seemed like it wasn't a complete closure when you're not there, you know, to take it all in and, you know, kind of like a story, like you think you just dreamed it and stuff, you know, when it happens like that.
Before getting behind the wheel, think about the lives around you and who you may be affecting. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Tia Leonard.
The government of Alberta is introducing a new motion to ask the federal government to halt the carbon tax increase on April 1st. The federal carbon tax rate on gas is also set to increase on April 1st from just under 9 cents a litre to more than 11 cents a litre. As Brenna Doucette reports, consumers are bracing for a big hit to their wallets.
Clearly demonstrate our opposition to the Trudeau government's April Fool's Day prank of hiking the carbon tax on April the 1st, right when Canadians are already struggling with rising costs on everything from food and grocery stores to home heating to filling up our cars.
$1.67. Yes, that's per liter. Getting a tank of gas these days includes a big sticker shock.
I find it's really hard to try and budget as a single parent with gas prices so high and them going higher. And I think freezing them is good because I can have some sort of base to work into my budget.
13 cents of that price is tax here in Alberta. And starting Friday, get ready for an additional jump of 2 cents a litre to pay for the increase in the federal carbon tax. Gas prices have slowly been on the rise since the Russian invasion of the Ukraine. To combat the increase, the province has announced a freeze on Alberta's tax rates, something the industry says is needed.
Well, it's a freebie, it's a break, so it's a little it's counterintuitive to what you're trying to accomplish when you're reducing the carbon footprint in the first place.
Albertans can also expect some relief as the government will be providing $150 electricity rebates to help Albertans pay the high bills they paid over the winter months. With Canada seeing its highest inflation rate in 30 years, the plan of reducing Alberta's carbon footprint may be further away than we think.
I think we're going to need it for a long time yet to come.
The Alberta government is set to stop collecting the provincial tax on gasoline so Albertans can have a bit of relief at the pumps. But how long these gas prices will stay up there are unknown. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Brenna Doucette.
More than 60 Ukrainians fleeing the war in their home country arrived in Edmonton Monday evening. The flight from Poland landed just after 7 p.m. last night. The airplane was already coming to Edmonton as a deadhead flight, as its intention was to pick up cargo to deliver Ukraine via Poland. All of the passengers on board the flight had connections either through family or friends.
It's great that they're here. You know, I told them to move very first day, pretty much when war started. And they finally took a decision because it's hard, you know, you thinking the war gonna end in like a couple days, it should be right, but it never did.
All of the passengers had applied for temporary fast-track visas before arriving in Alberta. Students finishing their schooling this year will be entering the workforce with a huge demand across all industries. This gives graduates a leg up as they prepare for their future careers in a time where businesses are desperate for young, skilled workers. Gavin Miller has the story.
In February, Canada's labour market showed signs of bouncing back to pre-pandemic levels from over 2 years ago. Opportunities for graduates are abundant as employment rates rise to numbers not seen since before the pandemic. Worker shortages are seen in all areas.
When it comes to the demand and availability for work, it's higher than ever. We're seeing remote work change where your companies even needs to be located. You don't have to be in Calgary working for a Calgary company. You can be in Calgary working for a company from Toronto, from San Francisco, from Austin, Texas. It doesn't matter anymore. So there's definitely more opportunities out there.
Statistics Canada attributes the decline in Canada's unemployment rate mostly to people being called back to work after a temporary layoff in the new year due to the spread of the Omicron variant. This includes up to 750 full-time and part-time healthcare workers able to return to their jobs after the AHS COVID vaccine mandate was lifted. The pandemic greatly impacted the healthcare industry. Workers were forced to adapt to new practices adopted to combat the spread. Bank Northwood is the Associate Dean of Health and Public Safety at SAIT. He says the struggles the industry has faced have not deterred students who hope to join the industry.
We see that students too, and even and more so applicants, are really still very interested in healthcare programs. And so there's strong applicant demand into our health programs because people perceive too that there's opportunity.
Projections from RBC predict all provincial economies will grow in 2022 due to the lifting of restrictions. Alberta and Saskatchewan are expected to accelerate further due to the demand of the energy sector and agriculture. Students at SAIT say they are not concerned about finding jobs, and instructors have informed them that opportunities are available to anybody that needs them. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Gavin Miller.
Summer is just around the corner, and many outdoor businesses and establishments are adjusting for the upcoming shift. Canada Olympic Park is excited to be gearing up for summer as they can expect more traffic coming into the park for their summer recreational activities that they offer. Suhaib Youssef is covering this story for us. Suhaib, what can we expect to see from the park when the summer season arrives?
Well, Philip, before Canada Olympic Park can even begin to think about the summer, they have to wait until all the snow on the ground has fully melted. And with it snowing just last night, visitors who are hoping to partake in some of those summer activities might have to wait just a little bit longer.
It's still amazing that after all these years that you have people from all over the world who come and to Canada Olympic Park just because of the Olympic legacy.
Dreams of being an Olympian also have young people flocking to Canada Olympic Park both in winter and in summer. The winter season at the park will be coming to a close in the next few days. Guests can expect to see some of the summer attractions during May long weekend. When the park is converting from winter to summer, it's definitely not an overnight process, as some of the attractions are a little bit easier to set up compared to others. Skyline luge, mini golf, and ziplining are some of the activities visitors can partake in. But usually during the summer, the park sees fewer visitors, as Windsport offers more programs for all ages during the wintertime.
He just got into skiing this year. He's 5 and he really loves it and he enjoys it. But for the most part, we're just trying to make sure that he's an outdoor kid and just gets out there and plays and try to minimize as much TV as possible and just play as much as possible outside.
When COP is functioning at normal standards with regular numbers going in and out of the park, the overall vibrancy of the city is set to be improved, as Windsport is one of Calgary's largest contributors to its economy.
0.2 million visitors that come each year, and whether it's the summertime or the wintertime. And the big thing for us is it brings tourists in.
The winter season officially closes this Sunday, but COP may keep the half pipe open as a few weeks after, depending on the weather. Back to you, Philip.
That was Suhaib Youssef reporting from the SAIT newsroom. Those are today's top stories. We'll have your full forecast after the break with Easton, but first, Nyekim Kwet has a look at what's going on around Calgary this week.
Big Reg and Monster will be live at McQueen Hall tomorrow from 8 to 11:55 p.m. If you love live music and the 90s, this is definitely for you. Rock music lovers, this Friday, you could grab your ticket and visit Palace Theatre. Clutch is back in Calgary and will be performing from 7 to 12 midnight. Ooh, sound like fun, right? This Friday at King Edward Studio Theatre, there'll be a movement or poetry workshop. If you love poems, then mark your calendar. Do not forget, beautiful dances will be brought by the Celtic Illusion on April 12. These dances will quench your thirst for sure on their tour at Southern Alberta Jubilee Auditorium. Fashion Week Season 7 by Toronto Kids is back in Calgary. The show will feature kids who love fashions together with Canadian designers.
Wow, fashion. I might even have to check out the fashion myself. I need a new suit, and this one's not working anymore. So let's check out Canada here. So starting in Vancouver, here on the Pacific coast, we have a high pressure system that's just barely hitting Vancouver, leading to some very, very nice temperatures. But that's not going to last long, as a low pressure system will take over and Vancouver will get lots of rain. Now heading over to Regina and Winnipeg, more central, there is also a low pressure system there that is making it so it's snowing in Regina and snowing and raining in Winnipeg. Now this pressure system will continue on to the east. Toronto kind of skips that. They are currently in the midst of a high pressure system, which leads them to have some nice temperatures. But in the coming days, Toronto will have a lot of rain. St. John's and Halifax on the east coast, they are in the midst of a very, very large low pressure system, leading to the snow and rain they are getting. Now, although it is kind of warming up, let's take a look at where it's way warmer in the resorts. It's 26 and sunny in Palm Springs. Barbados and Cancun are sitting at 29 with some cloud cover. Clouds seem to be the theme, as Honolulu is 27 and partly cloudy. Might be too hot for Disney in Orlando at 32 degrees. Las Vegas is the coolest at 25 degrees. Like I said earlier, it's pretty nice in Calgary today. We have a nice 7 degrees, but it's not very windy, only at 15 kilometers an hour. So it actually feels a lot nicer than it is. It's kind of mainly sunny. And up next we have some sun, but we will have a little bit of rain tomorrow. Now we take a look at Alberta. So starting up in Fort McMurray and Grand Prairie, they do have a low pressure system up there. So they have nice temperatures, but in the coming days, there will be some rain. Now coming more south, it is very nice, and they have a little bit of a high pressure system, but not much, just on the edge. They're a little bit of both. But the high pressure system that is currently hitting Vancouver will make its way over and sweep all the way through southern Alberta, making it very nice. So now we're going to take a look at the 5-day forecast. Tonight we have a low of -1. Tomorrow, like I said, it's going to be very nice. We have a high of 16 degrees, but the low of -1. It is going to rain tomorrow though. Thursday, Friday, leading into the weekend, some nice temperatures, high of 6 and 8. And Saturday, it's a high of 6 and a low of -1. We'll have sports with Jace Chua after the break.
History is the greatest story of them all. The kind of story that bears the very bones of humanity. It's filled with tales of everyday people and the lives they lived. Stories like that are made to be told. The Chinook Country Historical Society, telling the stories of Alberta since 1958.
Come and learn the breaking world of broadcast news. Find your passion to investigate, write, shoot, edit, and deliver the stories of the day. SAIT's broadcast news program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in radio and television. Become the next great anchor, reporter, or personality using industry-standard technology alongside qualified instructors with years of experience. This is Broadcast News. Come and dare to be on air.
Welcome back to SAIT Newsfile. Jace Chua joins us now for a look at the latest highlights. Jace, what can we expect?
Well, I'm excited to share some hot soccer news from our national team and from our own team here at SAIT. I can't wait, so let's just get into it. The 36-year drought is over for Canada. They put on a show on Sunday, qualifying for the Men's World Cup for the first time since 1985. A perfect ball midfield from Stefan Eustachiou to Kyle Larin beats the goalkeeper, and just before halftime, Tejan Buchanan gives Canada a comfortable lead after they missed a dozen chances to score, putting Canada up 2-0. In the second half, Canada not letting their foot off the gas, Junior Hoylett added another goal after the break. Trying to play defense, Adrian Mariupah accidentally kicks it in, getting his own goal, rounding the scoring to 4-0 for Team Canada. Canada will play at the World Cup for the first time since Mexico in 1986, where they lost 3 games and failed to even score. Continuing the luck we have here, soccer back at SAIT, not only did the men's and women's soccer teams take gold in the 2021-2022 AC Soccer Championships, but they dominated in the ACAC Futsal Championships as well. What started as a close game turned into a complete stomp in favor of the Trojans. 22 minutes into the second period, Abdullah gets a goal, putting the Trojans up 4-2. The Trojans kept dominating the game, staying in the offensive for the rest of the 22-minute stretch, gapping the Eagles 7-3. Team's head coach Connor Brady believes the experience they had in the soccer fall championships gave the teams the edge coming into the game.
You know, they've been in those moments before. You know, they were lucky enough to earn the chance to play in those championship type games in the fall, and you know, I seen them learn a lot from that. So the message at halftime was that you've been here before, right? And you know, manage the game, but go out and win it now.
Right from the kickoff, we got intense plays from both teams in the women's games for chasing who to get first on the boards. The first one to get on the boards first was Trojans' very own Waves. Heading to the second half from the far left field, Metis was a sniper shot to the top right of the net. What a shot. The women's soccer team took home gold in the 2021 championships, but now they also dominated and won their first ACAC Futsal Championships without any regular season games. This is the women's first futsal title, and did you know that they set an ACAC record for the most goals scored at the championship final, winning 5-2. The previous record was scored by the Medicine Hat Rattlers. Life on the SAIT campus is finally getting back to a sense of normal. Masks are off, restaurants are reopening, and now you can get back onto the TAC over the noon hour with the SAIT intramurals, as Philip Miani reports.
It's fun to play with people you don't know what to expect. It might be good or not, but that's the fun part, you know? You get to play different people.
For the first time in nearly 2 years, drop-in intramurals have returned to SAIT. The plan to start hosting intramurals again was finalized late last week, with promotion of the events rolled out late Friday afternoon. Despite the short notice, organizers were ecstatic with the turnout.
This is perfect though. I'm actually quite happy with the turnout today. We definitely did not plan for this many people, so it's awesome to see people out here.
SAIT students welcome the opportunity to interact with fellow students they don't know personally. As club athletics season for the SAIT Trojans ends, students that still want to get their sports fix can now join drop-in athletics here at the SAIT Campus Center on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. For those that want to get their fix virtually, the SAIT Esports Gaming Lounge will also be open for drop-in activities.
What a shot! Yo, Egg is popping off this game.
SAIT does have a competitive esports team, but anybody of any skill level is welcome to come drop in. With esports taking place in an online environment, players are hoping to continue their online friendships past the end of the semester.
Esports is a bit different because you can play online, you can play from your home, you can play anywhere. So we're hoping to do this yearly and not really put like an end.
The biggest reason SAIT brought back intramurals was to give students and staff a mental break.
Towards the end, we have final season, we have all this big group project coming up, so we want to make sure that the students got a little bit of a fun time outside those work hours for sure.
Mondays are basketball, Tuesdays are volleyball, and Wednesdays are indoor soccer from 12 to 1. While prospective gamers can drop into the esports lounge Monday to Friday from 11 to 2 or from 3 to 6. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Philip Miani.
We got a whopping 9 games in the NHL tonight. Austin Matthews and the Maple Leafs take on David Pastrnak and the Boston Bruins. The Montreal Canadiens battle the Florida Panthers, and we get to see the Blue Jackets face off against the New York Islanders. New York Rangers play against the Pittsburgh Penguins to settle their 1-1 score, and the rivalry between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Tampa Bay Lightning continues tonight. The Ottawa Senators play the Predators. The Philadelphia Flyers will face off against the Minnesota Wild. The Dallas Stars travel to Cali to take on the Ducks, and here at home, we got the Flames versus the Avalanche. The Raptors continue their hot streak, beating the Boston Celtics in overtime. The Raptors down by 2 with 2 minutes left in the fourth, and OG comes up with a big fast break to tie up the game. 1 minute left, Tatum with the extra pass to the corner to Nesmith, putting the Celtics up by 4. What a huge three. Pascal Siakam, he was hot tonight, hits the spin move on Theus, and also he was also fouled getting up, so you know he ties up the score. Williams gets a turnover, but there's no time, so Trent Jr. puts up a wild shot, and we're headed to OT. In overtime, kick out to Trent, who passes it to OG for a corner 3. Raptors are up by 1, and Spicy P, putting on the moves on Theus again. He was doing this all night, but puts Raptors up ahead. Look at Scotty Barnes dancing. Raptors narrowly escaped the #1 seed Celtics. Spicy P came out to play, going 17 of 29 from the field with 13 bounds. Raptors improved their win streak to 3 games, neck and neck with the Bulls for the 5th seed. And that's a look at sports.
Man, I love the SAIT winning gold. First time they've ever won the outdoor championships and the futsal championships as well.
Yeah, that's crazy. And they have little to any regular season games too coming up with that.
The entertainment world is buzzing today about the Oscar night, and of course,
creativity, education,
So we have a mark right there. Film reel. As you can see, it's pretty old.
community.
Rolling.
Be a part of the local film community and experience the energy at CSIF.
Come and learn. and find your passion with SAIT's radio, television, and broadcast news program. For over 50 years, the RTBN program has been the source of elite broadcasters in Canada and around the world. SAIT's industry-grade facilities and world-class instructors give you the knowledge and experience you need to succeed in the broadcast industry. If you want to be the next big name in television, broadcast news, or radio, then come and dare to be on air.
The entertainment world is buzzing today about the Oscar night and, of course, our very own city being one of the greatest film industries in Canada. Niakim Kwet is in the newsroom to show us what is hot in the entertainment world. Kim, what's hot out there?
Yes, Philip, Calgary is now considered one of the largest film industry in Canada.
You working in arts?
Yes. The Last of Us have been filming in Calgary for the past couple of months, creating about 9,000 jobs for Calgarians. Yesterday, somewhere in downtown, they set up an area that seems, in my eyes, like either fighting scenes or vehicles bumping into each other. It rather looked interesting. SHEN is back in Calgary, bringing Chinese culture through dances.
Performance. You are witnessing a culture reborn.
SHEN is a Chinese artistic revival and a celebration of Chinese culture. The group toured the world to bring what they call lost culture to life. SHEN will be performing in Calgary from April 15th to April 17th. Our TVs were blessed, or rather, but I won't say it. Last weekend, Oscar brought us some hot stuff.
Oh, wow!
Will Smith slapped comedian Chris Rock after Rock made a joke about Smith's wife, calling it a G.I. Jane joke. Smith did not take it well. He then walked to the stage, and that is when a history was made. A day later, Smith apologized, saying he was wrong and out of line. If you love rock music and listen to the 90s, then you must have known Foo Fighters. The Foo Fighters drummer Taylor Hawkins died last Friday while experiencing chest pain in a hotel in Colombia. The band was touring South America when this tragic incident happens. Hawkins was tested and 10 different substances were found in his body. The band canceled the rest of their South American tour, but they will perform at the 64 Grammy on April 3rd. And that's a look at the latest entertainment. And that's the look. Back to you, Philip.
Thanks, Kim. From a wild story of an actor slapping a comedian to remembering a rock legend known for slapping the Skins. The fighting game community of Calgary is a collective of video gamers who get together to play fighting games in a casual format. Eric Fung has more on this niche community.
The Fighting Game Community, or FGC, is a competition-driven group of people who play video games and do regular offline gatherings. I spoke with some people from the community to learn more of what fighting games are all about.
Fighting games are defined as like a game where you battle or attack another player. So there's just usually the standard layout is two players play against each other and they're fighting. It can either be with swords or their fists, stuff like that. So the genre's expanded so much that it's hard to include what is a fighting game anymore, as long as characters are battling each other and stuff.
The fighting game community at Calgary was made to kind of bring people with a passion for fighting games together. It was organized by several individuals to kind of take people who had interest in fighting games and bring them together under one community, because there were like kind of a couple little venues for it here or there, but nobody really tried to umbrella it over the city in a casual environment. Make somewhere where people could go every week and enjoy their passions with other people until like we made the FGCC possible.
For anyone looking to play some games with a couple of friends, the Fighting Game Community of Calgary is a great place to look for a fun time. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Eric Fung.
That's it for SAIT Newsfile today. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you join us again on Thursday.